Hey everyone, welcome to another ranking. Here's my ranking of Emily Blunt's movies. Yes, I'm a big fan of actress Emily Blunt. She's a pretty new actress. She's been doing movies for, I'd say, about 15 years or so, and she is a very good, very talented, very versatile actress. And I thought to celebrate her great acting, I'd do a ranking of every single movie she has played in. I might skip over a few because there's a few movies I haven't seen, but all in all, I'm going to be ranking all 24 of Emily Blunt's movies. Yes, just like what I did with Chris Evans and Hugh Jackman, I'm going to be doing the same with Emily Blunt. I'm not going to talk about the movies in depth because there's too many movies. I'm just going to go through them all very quickly, and it's the order of my least favorite to my favorite. Alright, let's get started. Here's my ranking of all of Emily Blunt's movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Alright, coming at number 24 is The Huntsman Winter's War. Yes, I'll leave a link down below. I did a whole review of this months ago, did a whole 10-minute review. This movie's terrible, has terrible effects, Chris Hemsworth, Charlize Theron, and now you got friggin' Emily Blunt as the Snow Queen. It's terrible, it's ugly, it's a waste of a Jessica Chastain, Nick Frost as well. The acting is terrible, the action's terrible, it's not funny, and it's not even as good as Snow White and the Huntsman, and that movie sucked anyway, so good job. Coming number 23 is Arthur Newman. This movie, again, is not funny, it's not creative, it's not dramatic, it's not passionate. It's a waste of an Emily Blunt. She is trying her best in this movie, but this movie isn't original, it's not fresh, it's not well directed. This movie is just a complete waste of time. If you haven't seen this movie, good. Don't see this movie. Coming number 22 is Gullivers Travels. Gullivers Travels is based off an old kid's novel. This movie has Jack Black, Jason Segel, and Emily Blunt. This movie's terrible. The story isn't good. It's not even a good movie for kids. I would never even show any of my children this. This movie is stupid. It's not creative, it's not fun to watch, it doesn't have an interesting story or concept or premise. It's just a dumb, stupid kids movie. It's a dumb comedy, and Jack Black is way better than this, and I know Emily Blunt was just starting her career out in this movie, so I don't blame her for this movie, but this movie is just stupid. Coming in number 21 is Wild Target. This is another movie probably no one's ever seen. It's an indie film that is forgettable, it's generic, it's boring, it's dull. I don't like it. Who does like it? Emily Blunt's in it. She's terrible. Everyone's terrible in this movie. It's horribly crafted, horribly executed, and I barely remember a thing about it. So, next movie. Coming number 20 is Romeo and Juliet. Yes, this is an animated movie about gnomes, and it's supposed to be the story of Romeo and Juliet. Ha, how clever. This movie also has Ewan McGregor, Jason Statham, Emily Blunt, and a bunch of other great actors. The animation isn't very good. It's very clunky, very ugly. I know this movie could have been a clever idea, you know, with the Romeo and Juliet story, but the movie is weird. It has Mission Impossible references. It's weird, it's stupid, it's not funny, it's not creative, it's not even entertaining. Maybe kids can enjoy it, but I certainly did not enjoy it. Number 19 is The Wolfman. The Wolfman, oh, this movie, again, it appears on this list. I did not like this movie. I don't think it's a well-directed movie. I like some wolf movies, like An American Werewolf in Paris or London. I think it's London. In London. That's a great wolf movie. The movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson, that's a pretty good movie, but this movie isn't very good at all. Benicio del Toro's in it, Anthony Hopkins, Emily Blunt, all great actors, all great performers. This movie doesn't give them any of them justice. The makeup looks cool. That's about it. Coming number 18 is Wind Chill. Wind Chill actually has a pretty cool idea. Not very original. I don't think a lot of the performances are very good. The characters are very stock horror movie characters. There is some pretty good shots and there is some pretty good atmosphere in the film, and that's what I give it that, but as an indie horror psychological thriller goes, it's okay, but still pretty forgettable. Number 17. Number 17 is The Adjustment Bureau. The Adjustment Bureau is like Matt Damon is fine, Emily Blunt is trying. The idea and premise could have worked, but I don't know, I found this movie kind of boring, very dull. I had no idea at times what the hell was going on because the movie doesn't explain it properly, and the movie could have done it through visuals or symbolic interactionalism, but the movie doesn't do it like that. This movie just throws a lot of crap at you and expects you to get it and stuff, and I really didn't like that. This movie was also very clunky at times, and there were some very wooden performances by the entire supporting cast, but Matt Damon was good, Emily Blunt was good, and the third act was pretty cool, but I wouldn't recommend it. Coming in number 16 is Salmon Fishing in the Yemen. Salmon Fishing in the Yemen is actually a pretty delightful film. Ewan McGregor, Emily Blunt both star in this movie. This movie is just a very good, lighthearted comedy. It has some pretty good romance. I like Ewan McGregor and Emily Blunt and their chemistry. They have good chemistry with each other. The movie can be a bit overdrawn and a little too long at times, but I enjoyed it. It had some decent shots, some decent editing, and the two are very good. And it is just a good, delightful film. Nothing amazing, but it's not bad. Coming in number 15 is Into the Woods. Into the Woods is another one. It's not bad. I actually don't mind this movie. This movie is directed by Rob Marshall, who directed Chicago and stuff, and the music is really good. It has some pretty good musical moments. There's some pretty good silhouettes in the movie. The cinematography is good. I like how it's dark. I don't like Johnny Depp in this movie. I really can't stand Johnny Depp in this movie. I think Chris Pine is a little over the top with this agony. Very over the top. Emily Blunt's good. James Corden's really good. Anna Kendrick. Meryl Streep steals the whole movie. The singing's good. Again, it's a bit overdrawn, but it's a good movie. I don't mind it. Coming in at number 14 is Sunshine Cleaning. This is a pretty good, pretty awesome, pretty decent indie comedy or indie dramedy. The story of this movie is about two sisters who go into a business of their own, and basically they're cleaners and they clean up like dead bodies and dead accidents and stuff. They clean up blood of all these crime scenes and stuff. And yeah, this is basically a character study of the two sisters and stuff, and about Amy Adams' character, and she's sleeping with a married man, and basically she has to move on from her past life and stuff. And then there's Emily Blunt still not moving on from the death of her mother and stuff. And yeah, it's a pretty good movie. There are some scenes in this movie that don't add up. I don't think every performance is spot on, but I think Emily Blunt and Amy Adams are both very good in this movie, and there is some pretty good dark comedy in the movie, and I find it pretty good. It's not bad. Coming number 13 is Dan in Real Life. Yes, Dan in Real Life has Steve Carell, Dane Cook, Emily Blunt and stuff. Emily Blunt is not a huge character, but she's still very good in the movie. This is mainly Steve Carell's movie, and he's very funny in this movie. And I'm not usually a big fan of Dane Cook, especially in movies. My Best Friend's Girl's terrible, Mr. Brooks, terrible movies, Planes, but he's actually pretty funny in this movie. And this movie, all in all, is a pretty overlooked comedy, and I did enjoy it. Coming number 12 is the movie The 5-Year Engagement. This movie is directed by Nicholas Stoller, who did movies like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Neighbors, and of course this movie that stars Jason Segel and Emily Blunt. And this movie is very, very enjoyable. Chris Pratt's also in this movie, and I enjoy this movie. I put this married couple basically have been engaged forever, and they don't know when they're going to get married and settle down and stuff. And it's a great movie. It's a great romantic comedy. It's also a great drama with some really good acting in this movie. Both Emily Blunt and Jason Segel both give good performances, and they both have genuine chemistry in this movie. If you're a fan of Nicholas Stoller's work and you like romantic comedies, definitely check this one out. Coming in number 11 is The Great Buck Howard. Yes, another movie that isn't big with Emily Blunt. She's not a big role in this movie. This movie is mostly Colin Hanks and John Malkovich, because this movie is about a kid. It's about a kid who gets a job as an apprentice for a magician and stuff, and Emily Blunt plays a reporter. But I think Emily Blunt actually steals this whole movie. She is so delightful. She's so funny. She's got this, like, Texan accent, and she's just so delightful in this movie. John Malkovich is also really great. She's also really great in this movie. Colin Hanks is great. Tom Hanks is a small role. He's very good. But Emily Blunt, I think, stole this entire movie. That's why it's number 11 on this list. Coming in number 10 is Charlie Wilson's War. Yes, Charlie Wilson's War is such a fantastic movie. I love this movie. Directed by Mike Nichols. This movie has Julia Roberts, Tom Hanks, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Emily Blunt. She's not very big in this movie, but the reason I put it at number 10 is because personally I love this movie. This movie would actually be like number 5 or 6, but since Emily Blunt isn't a huge character, I'm only putting it at number 10. This movie's fantastic. It's a great dark comedy, but also a very good true story about the war during this time and stuff. Tom Hanks is fantastic. Mike Nichols' direction is fantastic. And Emily Blunt, she may not be big in the movie, but she herself is also fantastic. Coming number 9 is the movie The Jane Austen Book Club. The Jane Austen Book Club is a very good movie, especially if you're a fan of Jane Austen. I personally am a big fan of Jane Austen. I've read all of her novels like The Pride and Prejudice, Northanger Abbey, Mansfield Park, Love and Friendship, and Sense and Sensibility. I love Jane Austen's work, and I love that the story is about all these people who are obsessed with Jane Austen. They use Jane Austen's literature for their everyday life, and basically they start a book club about talking about Jane Austen's novels and stuff, and it's about each and one of these characters and their lives, and they're all fascinating characters. Just random movies about people talking about things that they're passionate about, whether it's movies or literature or art or music, and this is one of these movies. I love the Jane Austen Book Club. Very good movie. Coming number 8 is The Young Victoria. The Young Victoria is such a great period piece movie. As you saw in my top 10 favorite period piece movies, Emily Blunt is great in this movie as Queen Victoria herself, and Mark Strong's in this movie, Paul Bettany, Rupert Friend, everyone, a lot of great actors in this movie. The production, the cinematography, the editing, all very well done. If you love period piece movies and you're fascinated about the story about Queen Victoria, check this movie out. It's great. Number 7 is The Devil Wears Prada. This is actually the first movie I actually saw Emily Blunt in. This is when I actually found out who Emily Blunt really was. In this movie, she plays Miranda's assistant, one of her assistants, Emily, and I loved her in this movie. She's such a bitchy character, but she plays it so freaking well. I love her character arc in the movie. She is so freaking funny and so delightful. Meryl Streep, of course, is amazing, so is Anne Hathaway, but I really enjoy Emily Blunt's performance in this movie. Everyone knows I love this movie. It's one of my favorite chick flicks, and it's just awesome. Coming in number 6 is Your Sister's Sister. Your Sister's Sister is another such a great movie, very overlooked movie, very underrated. This movie is written and directed by Lynn Sheldon, and if you don't know Lynn Sheldon's work, please check out her filmography. She makes such great indie films. This is my favorite of hers. She did this movie so well directed. The movie mainly has just 3 characters, and that's Rosemary DeWitt, Mark Duplass, and Emily Blunt, and it's such a well-told story. I don't want to spoil it. I think if you watch all the trailers, you'll know what the story's about, but please check it out. It's a great drama, it's a great comedy, it's got a great romance, and a very good, compelling, interesting ending, and I love this movie. It's thought-provoking, it's smart, it's well-written, it's just awesome. Coming in number 5 is Looper. Yes, Looper, directed by Rian Johnson, Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emily Blunt, Jeff Daniels, all star of this movie. Everyone talks about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance, and he is fantastic. He's the whole movie, but Emily Blunt is also very good in this movie. She's not just a love interest, she plays a very critical part in this movie. Still fantastic, one of the best time-traveling movies, one of the greatest neo-noir movies. It's a great thriller, a great science fiction film, favorite Rian Johnson movie, and my 5th favorite Emily Blunt movie. Coming number 4 is My Summer of Love. This is the first movie Emily Blunt starred in. She is so good in this movie. This is a very interesting story about be careful who you fall in love with. That's the main gist of this movie. Be careful who you fall in love with. It starts off as a very nice, very delightful relationship, but it doesn't end well. That's all I'm going to say about this movie. It's a great, pretty moody movie, but it's still very well done, very well crafted. It's got great atmosphere. Again, a bit moody, a little depressing, but still a very well told movie. So good, so good. Coming number 3 is The Wind Rises. Yes, this counts. You know, she's just a voice actress. She's still great in this movie. I've gone on and on about this movie. This is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies, and of course it had to make this list. She's one of the stars in the movie, so it's one of my favorite Emily Blunt movies. Coming number 2 is Edge of Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat. I refuse to call it that. It's Edge of Tomorrow. This movie's great. She's the full metal bitch in this movie. I love this movie. The idea, again, has been done before, like Groundhog Day and Source Code, about a guy repeating the day over and over again. Such a great movie. I love Edge of Tomorrow. Tom Cruise makes this movie, but Emily Blunt also makes this movie, and it's my 2nd favorite movie she is in. My number 1 favorite Emily Blunt movie is last year's Sicario. Yes, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Again, I'll leave a link down below. I did a whole review of this movie. I love this movie. This movie is dark, it's gritty, it's unpleasant, it's not very easy to watch, but if you love Denis Villeneuve and his movies, he's done movies like Prisoners, Enemy, Incendies. He's got his new movie Arrival coming out. He's got Blade Runner 2 coming out. We'll see about that, but this movie's great. It's unpleasant, but it's fantastic. It's my number 1 favorite Emily Blunt movie. So yeah, that was my ranking of all of Emily Blunt's movies, from my least favorite to my favorite. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, what is your favorite Emily Blunt movie? And if you've seen all of her movies, give me all your rankings from your least favorite to your favorite of all her movies. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.